When a person says, I just want this as a matter of principle, they're not just thinking, well, I'll spend $20 million to achieve $5 million. Do you want to be right, or do you want a practical outcome? Clients have to face this question. If you just want to be right, then you might find yourself fueled by that anger, fueled by that grievance, making the kinds of decisions that lead you to an outcome that is Pyrrhic, where you've spent way more than you should have, taken far longer than you should have to be told that you're right, or, and perhaps more critically, you might find yourself wading into areas of risk and cost that were unforeseen, unexpected, and ultimately unpleasant. If it's not just about being right, if it's about getting the most practical outcome, then you need a different mindset. In my experience, the most effective way to approach the dispute and the way in which to achieve the most effective practical outcome is not to ignore the grievance. The grievance is obviously there. It's what's motivating your behaviour and motivating your desire to achieve some sort of reasonable outcome. But it's to approach the obtaining of your objective with an investment mindset. When a person says, I just want this as a matter of principle, they're not just thinking, well, I'll spend $20 million to achieve $5 million. Some people are, that there are rare exceptions, but usually it's masking or hiding what are a series of other considerations. And those other considerations are, how much will I spend? How much should I invest? What is my risk tolerance? How will I cope if I lose? How long have I got? How much time should I invest? And without exploring an investment mindset and being focused just by the grievance and the anger, you're actually just disguising all of those other considerations. So one advantage of encouraging the investment mindset is not to diminish the grievance. It's not to say you ought not be angry. It's to bring to the surface all of the other considerations that are going to play into the kind of outcome a client's going to be happy with. What's the difference between a person who is blindly motivated by the grievance, by the vindication, versus the litigant who approaches the litigation with a rational investment mindset, a balance sheet item in a sense? How might those behaviours be different? The litigant who's fueled by grievance will say, let's do everything to prove that I'm right. Doesn't matter what it is, I must answer every allegation, I must respond to every point, I must bring everything to the table to prove that I am right. The person with the investment mindset starts with, well, this is my objective. This is what I think I want to achieve from this dispute. This is the outcome I'd like to achieve. The second step would be, how realistic is that outcome? And make an assessment of, is that a realistic outcome? If it's not realistic, what are the range of potential outcomes that are open to me? And then the third step in that investment mindset would be, well, if they're the range of potential outcomes, what's an appropriate amount, or what am I willing to invest in order to achieve that range of outcomes? And the moment you start consideration of how much do I invest to achieve a particular outcome, you immediately turn to the risk of achieving those particular outcomes. And that's the step 4. So you're now thinking about objective, range of outcomes, the amount to invest, and then the risk of achieving those outcomes based on that investment spend. And then the 5th consideration then becomes, well, having regard to those things, what is my risk appetite? What risk am I prepared to accept? Now, all of that leads to a mindset that is focused on how to achieve the most effective practical outcome in the shortest possible time at the least possible cost to achieve the biggest possible return.